We'll call this meeting of the Highway Commission to order, January the 5th, 2026. Superintendent Ellis, would you give the invocation for us?
Sure would. Dear Heavenly Father, I praise your holy, wonderful name, Lord, and I pray that you'll bless us tonight, help us to do the county's work in a timely and heartfelt way that I pray that we'll work together for the greater good. All these things I ask in Christ Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We declare quorum. Before we approve the agenda, I want to reorder just a couple of things. I want to move number 3 under the report of the superintendent, subsection B. I want to move number 3 to number 1. I think that would make it just a little bit more efficient to adopt, consider adopting the vote first, and then to approve the list if that is approved. So, without any objection, we'll reorder that. Any other additions before we entertain a motion to approve the agenda? I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as modified.
So much.
Got a motion from Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
So much.
Second. Hey, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cassidy pointed out to me that my name is misspelled in the minutes.
Okay.
A few different times, but being a K instead of H. I didn't notice it, but I appreciate you bringing it to my attention.
Got it. We'll make that change.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the changes.
All right. Do I have a second? Second. Second, Commissioner Moss. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We move to public recognition. We have some folks that signed up. First one is Pascal Jobin.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Pascal Jobin, Cam2 City Council, District 3. I have a question. I just would like to see what you guys hear about that. We have a development on the city side who has a condition of approval that a county road be widened for that. And I have no idea how you guys work on that. The developer came on and told us that it's just an issue of paperwork. I just request to be able to widen the road, and that's automatically approved. So I don't know a world where everything is automatically approved. So I would like to know how that works so I can make a good decision on that. The road has to be widened to be able to support our fire engines. That will be a safety issue. So if you guys can help me on that, I would appreciate it.
I know what road are we talking about?
X lane. H-I-X.
What agenda item?
It's not on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
But I guess part of it would be on the county road list. I guess my recommendation would be to contact the road superintendent to see what the process is, maybe we can on a future agenda.
Okay. It's probably in front of me tomorrow night, so I was trying to get as much information as I could.
Okay.
Get with me.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
All right, next is Mr. Michael Clark.
Michael Clark, 102 Tioga Trail, Hendersonville. I'd like to talk about the acceptance of Warpath as a county road. I really think it probably should have been done to start with, and we wouldn't have to be doing all this, and maybe it would have been designed a little bit better than what it is. Been all kinds of problems down there ever since. We finally got the traffic situation taken care of up on Hunters, thanks to Mr. Toby and all the signage and everything that that was done to take care of that. There's still backup student pickup in the afternoons, it's awful up and down through there. So hopefully the next time another school is built somewhere in Sumner County, that will be taken into account. That way they're not blocking a road, because right now, when and if this is accepted, they're going to be blocking a complete lane every day. It's just, it shouldn't be that way. There should be enough thought put into it that you shouldn't have that situation. Back a few months ago, when this was discussed and I spoke, there was all kinds of failures on the sidewalks and up and down through there. Mr. Toby came out with Marshall, I think, came out with them. They marked them. They did come out and repair part of it, but there's still places where the sidewalk is deteriorated, and there's other issues with the water drains and all that I'm not an expert on, so I'll let somebody else speak to that. But before you accept this into a county road, please get some assurances that all this is going to be taken care of, preferably before it's accepted. But just get some type of assurance that all this will be taken care of, or the county's going to have to pick the tab up. Thank you.
Thank you, Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm also to speak on the accepting Wolfpack Way. I was out there Saturday. I took some pictures. Chairman, you can follow as I discuss it. As most of you know, I was a developer years ago, and when we had to, what we call, sell a road to the county or the city, it had to be pretty impeccable when it was done. So I was out there Saturday. That would have been totally unacceptable, and that's kind of a small thing. What we have, low spots in the gutter where gravel can accumulate has never been acceptable in my knowledge. That's a much worse scarring there. This is not done by cars. This is major equipment that has hit that stuff, bulldozers and the like. This is the drive apron going into what I believe is where they used to pick up the raw sewage and take it out. In that drive apron, there are 5 major structural breaks in the swale. And this is from one angle, and this is from the other end. So that drive apron is actually in 6 individual pieces. Very small scarring there, but scarring just the same. That I know that a county or city would never have accepted that with me. Here we have structural failures in the asphalt. I don't know what's causing it, but those are pretty major, and that means big problems down the road for the county. Here's an area that was marked that hasn't been taken care of. I would think that we would take care of everything before this committee accepted it. This is looking straight at the elementary school. There's a break in that swell, and there's a break in that sidewalk area. Here's in front of I think it's the middle school. There is a low spot in the sidewalk that every time it rains, it collects mud. That's a liability. If that mud is wet, somebody's taking a walk and slips on it and breaks their neck. We're sorry. And then here is one of the repairs that was made, and 10 to 15 feet away from it, there is more damaged curb and gutter. So I would encourage you to not accept the road based on those things. Now, I've got a couple other points that I would like to make. I've had 2 maps made. This is 2014, and this is 2023. So I was speaking to Mr. Jones a couple of weeks ago, and he let me know that his stock pond is shrinking because there's no water feed to it. And I said, well, you had a water feed here and you had a water feed here. He said, there was once a hill, and that water sheet flowed down the hill and covered his whole acreage there. And that is no longer happening. The reason it's not happening is when the civil designed the site and created Wolfpack Way, he ran a storm drain all the way to this settling area. That literally cut off the water that Mr. Mr. Jones had expected and has been going on his property for thousands of years, and should, by all rights, go on for thousands of years. I would contend two things. Number one, that his water rights have been violated. In this side of the country, we call it riparian rights. All the water that has come on his property to this point should not have changed. So he's got a serious issue there. We're playing with his livelihood. Because he's got reduced water, he's got reduced grass, reduced hay, reduced cattle. That's a problem. Number two, because that cutoff was made, all of that water that was coming and spreading and ultimately making its way further downstream on the creek over here, it has now been diverted and is overwhelming the corner, which is why I believe there is flooding in this stock pond. It is crossing over the road and flooding all of these properties. If that were to be fixed, I believe the water problem that is here would go away, because it would be what it had been doing naturally for thousands of years. So I know the school superintendent has said in the past this would cost the school a lot of money to do. No, it doesn't, because civil engineers have errors and omission insurance, which is basically the same thing a doctor has for making mistakes on the operating table. This should cost the schools nor the county a dime to fix this problem. And what he has to do is redirect that water from that storm drain back onto Mr. Jones's land. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Stephen King.
Hello, Stephen King, 123 Moylan Circle, Goodwicksville, Tennessee, and Mr. Jones is one of my constituents, and I visited his property one time, and he gave me the whole tour, and I walked through his property extensively. And yeah, the flooding is very real. It's recurring. It's not just a minor inconvenience. This is a major problem. I think it's going to, the further we let this go, the worse it's going to get. It's going to get worse for the area, especially for the properties across the street. It has affected those properties as well. And so I would request tonight that you guys defer this. In fact, maybe defer this back to the school board for them to come up with something, a way to fix this. I know Dr. Langford has said, and I brought this up in several meetings at the school board regarding Mr. Jones' property. And the answer we received was, we're working on it and we're going to get this fixed. And so that's on the school board end of things. And so I would recommend that you guys kick this back to the school board for us to deal with, for us to find a civil engineer. We've got a study session tomorrow night. We've got a voting meeting on the 20th. I don't see why we could not get someone, make a recommendation, vote next, in a couple of weeks to find a civil engineer that would be able to do an inspection and make a recommendation for restoring this property. I also think, this should not, the cost of this should not be on the burden of the county. To me, this is a school-related issue. We have, the district has significant reserves, over $100 million, and that's money that's not being used. We have budgeted millions of reserves in our budgets every year that never get spent. Case in point, 2023, 2024, $85 million of reserves was budgeted in the budget. However, we ended that year with a surplus of $17 million in unspent revenue that increased our reserves to $143 million. Now, what that means is we ended the year $17 million away before we were even going to need to tap reserves. Okay, now, over the last 3 years, we're budgeting over $80 million a year in reserves, and it's never getting spent. That money needs to be used, and I feel like this is a case where if we need to use it, if there's not some insurance thing or whatever, we have the money to do it. And I know the county, you guys have funding for your capital issues as well. We have a massive reserve. why don't we let the school board take care of this? And, you know, do due diligence to the citizens. If we, you know, not every project is perfect. There's going to be mistakes, and when mistakes happen, the government, you know, those, they have, you know, in charge, we should try to fix it. Otherwise, we risk losing the trust of the citizens. So, I would recommend that you guys defer this, let the school board take on the cost of this and the planning to help Mr. Jones fix his property. So that would be my recommendation, and I hope you guys will do that tonight. I feel like we can get something done this month. We got a meeting tomorrow night, meeting on the 20th, and I think we could vote to get the ball rolling. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin Baker.
Kevin Baker, 424 80 Wade Road. Well, certainly I found out a bunch more new information tonight. I think over the last year or so, if I were to accumulate all the information I had heard from Wolfpack Way, it would be a mishmash of various issues. You know, you're representing us citizens. I don't know how you can make a decision when you don't know what the checklist of things should be done, and what the checklist of things that have been done, and what other things are people bringing up that maybe ought to be considered. I would argue that there should be a public checklist, you know, a punch list, if you're running a project of things that need to be done, so that you get it out there and then you get buy-in from people. Instead of having this after the fact, where people come up and say, well, this is wrong, this is wrong. And especially, you know, I appreciate school board member King saying about, do we have reserves, but so it comes out of my right pocket or my left pocket. If it comes out of a civil engineer, and this has been something I've been complaining about for years, we don't hold these people accountable. We ask them to design something, they design it, they construct it, and then it doesn't work. Well, that shouldn't fall on us citizens to fix it. And I'm imploring you guys to just get some backbone and stand up to these people. For the last 12 years, year after year after year, we see the same kinds of things. Put it back on the responsibility. The courthouse, the same kind of stuff. I know there's a litigation going on, so I won't talk about that, but I mean, just if we can charge the civil engineer, charge the construction company that's not doing this work. I appreciate the reserves, but let's go after the source first. Thank you.
Anthony Johnson.
So hard for me to do talks sometimes. But I like to look at pictures, before and after. I live at 429, 431 Upper Station Camp Creek Road. The only thing that separates me and the school is a fence and 2 borders. What he's told you is actually happening. Just for food for thought. In 2010, there were 161,226 is the census. In 2024, there's 211,721. According to the 2017 census, there were 1,428 farms in Sumner County. Okay? Out of those farms, the average size is 113 acres. Cattle, 37,000. Hay crop, 35,000. There are 45 farms for sale in Sumner County right now. So I need your help. Really bad. What they have told you is happening. The day that Summit was started digging that retention pond, I went over there and asked them, what are you doing? You're dumping this on me. I've got to do it according to the plans. Well, the civil engineer is the one who drew the plans. He drew them wrong. And I'll be the first one to admit to him and tell him. I've already spent money for lawyers and civil engineers. And the civil engineer told me, Stan, you got 500,000 gallons of water coming on you now that you didn't have before, coming in one spot on a yearly rainfall. So it's flooding my pond that you see down here in this corner, Down here, it's flooding, this pond is drying up, and this pond is huge. This pond is down, I have pictures. It's at least 4 feet down right now. I don't catch any water from the school coming to this part of the farm. The only water that you see coming on my farm now is rain water that directly hits my property. They can't do that. They cannot do that. I can't stress that enough. I sit here and I looked it up, and what you talked about, water rights, is true. They have violated our water rights, and they can't do that. I have been promised by Dale Phillips, and I've been promised by Dr. Langford. He has openly said, I will fix your problem. This has been going on for several years now. I want it fixed. Fix what you screwed up. Admit you made a problem. Admit you did something you shouldn't have in doing what you did up here. This was a big hill up here. It's been cut down. This was a major hill up here that we were catching a lot of water from up here. That pond there, and this hill add to this, keeping all the water here flowing here. This is drying up. The only water runs into this pond now is actually what rainwater falls on this property. I catch no water from the school coming to here. All the water from the school that you see in this picture is diverted, coming down here, catching it here. This creek on this side was running up in here before. As you can see on this picture, it's not there anymore. The creek has been taken out. According to the federal government, says you can't do that. You can't take out, and I don't know, I want them to teach me what the difference is between brown water, blue water, and all these different colors of water that they've got on this restricting flow. They restricted the flow of water coming on me. And it's all diverted into one thing, and it's coming into this pond, and yes, it is massive. I have pictures and videos of all of it. Be glad to show it to you. I invite you to come out there. Several of you have come to my house, come to the farm and looked. I have no intentions of going anywhere. No, I got to read it. Do you realize Sumner County has 28 centenarian farms? Do you know what that means? Do you have any idea what that means? Yes, no, check your head.
We're not having games here. This is public
comedy. Comedy. Centenarian farms has been in families for over 100 years. I've been on that property for 42 years coming this kind of spring. I'm not planning on going anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere. If there's ever peace, if there's ever heaven on earth, I have it. Right here. This is my heaven on earth. If you come up there and see heaven on earth, don't say, I wouldn't want to go anywhere either. Thank you, David, for making these pictures. I'm getting to the point where I don't have a lot of choices. It's got to be fixed, or we're going to let somebody else handle it. Legally handle it. We understand? Yes, no. But that's what will happen. I don't have a choice. Either fix the property like I was promised by Dale Phillips, Dr. Langford, get it over with, let's get on with our life. I don't have a problem with the schools. They're built. What I do have a problem with Liberty Creek schools, if you build a school like Liberty Creek schools, do it in Portland. Do it in other communities. Build them the same school that you have here. The same school that you built here, every single community in this county deserves the same thing, not just here. If that's not prioritizing or whatever word you want to use, I don't know what it is. But Hendersonville, Gallatin, horrible. What's more, every community deserves the same respect, the same thing. Don't change it. Do one, you do them all. But do it right. This was not done right as far as the water drainage. As far as the road, that road is 6 inches under the grade level. Right or wrong? Is that right or wrong?
Mr. Jones, I've actually let you go over your time, but I appreciate your comment.
Thank you. Please don't pass this and dump it on him. He doesn't deserve that problem.
Thank you, sir. That concludes our public commentary, public recognition, report from the chairman. I have none. Report of the road superintendent.
Okay. Wolfpack Way is the first thing on the agenda. We talked about that.
Okay.
And of course, I just want to open that up to discussion.
Do I hear a motion?
Are we getting down to new business?
We actually modified.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was late, I
Prior
forgot.
to Ryan.
Yeah, we modified it, moved it
He
to
lied.
1. So,
Motion not
He lied too.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Floor's open.
This has been going on forever, a long time. Obviously, there's problems there. The drainage issue, I guess my question would be the legal, is the roadway reference to the drainage issue? I know it's all, one could argue it's all tied together in one project. But the roadway, does it affect the drainage, or is that a separate issue?
I can't make that determination from the legal, I mean, I have no idea, I don't know anything about that kind of engineering. Now, as far as accepting it, I think your problem's gonna be accepting it is going to, by default, say that you're taking it under the terms and conditions at which your road is set, so that could create problems later on if other avenues were requested to be taken.
The road itself, the way it was designed, this is a road that was already under construction before I took office. And a lot of it was already built out. And from its major design, you have, curb and gutter that you put in the roadway, then catch basins, and then basically you have your water runoff and different things that you have for this. As far as, and this is, there's parts of this road that are 4 years old right now. This is, Mr. Klein talked about a hairline crack in the road. I've paved some roads that's what happens. You get cracks every once in a while on roads when they're a few years old. And structurally, the road's good, but there's issues, at hand with this project. It's, structurally, I've done inspections in cities all over Middle Tennessee and Eastern Tennessee. I mean, one thing I can promise you, you're going to have hairline cracks in concrete. I've seen brand new concrete do that. We went back in and replaced several sections of curb, had that done. I've talked to the school board about fixing the sidewalks. That's on them, and their plans of getting it done. They've talked to their concrete guy to do that. And I guess what our discussion is tonight is, what do we want to do from this point forward? Do we want to let it go back and let them discuss it with the school board?
I don't know if we can defer this to the school board. We can defer it to our education committee, but we can't defer it to another independently elected body. That won't work. So.
Mr. Chairman, could we make a motion from here? I guess legal too, maybe weigh in on this, make a motion this to the education committee. This way they can sit down with Dr. Langford when he comes up to his report and kind of go from there. That would be my motion.
I would second
tonight,
that.
To do that.
If that were
With-
appropriate.
With one caveat though, that the name remains Wolfpack Way, because, you know, that I discussed, you know, that was a concern, so I would want that to be part of the motion, that Wolfpack Way stay Wolfpack Way, because it's the 90+% of people that want the name to stay the same, and that's a big concern there, so that would be my motion.
So you got a motion and a
I'll
second
Yep.
on the floor to defer this to the education committee. Any discussion to that motion?
If I may, I think the better course of action, it'd have to end up back here anyway, so it might be worth deferring pending a report from that committee, or not committee, from the, school board or some group or entity they create to study this, and then you all make a determination based on that report. It doesn't give you controlling authority to tell them to give you an answer, but
That's why I was
it
saying.
lets them know it's tabled until we hear something.
And, yeah, we've got a school board member here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they would agree that, I mean, they would have to vote to take it up. They may or may not vote to take it up.
And you can always, if it's here, you can always bring it back and decide some different direction at that point. I don't think education would just, it would be worth dumping there and just come back.
I think really all we probably need to do, because we have communication with our highway superintendent and our director of schools, why not us just not pass it, caveat of him going back to Scott, back to the school board, and just talking about this and saying, what do we need to do to get this right?
So let me ask this question. What is it that we're asking to do? And here's why I'm getting this. I sympathize with Mr. Jones's plight. I certainly do. However, even if the school had not been built, if, let's just say, the property had passed to another owner, they could have made modifications to their own property and diverted the water another way. So,
Mr. Chairman, all due respect, there's case laws here in Sumner County that I'm familiar with, out of my district, where almost the same circumstances has occurred, and Chancellor, very much so, agreed with the property owner that had the, altercation, if you will, of the land, the water flow that was coming over onto them. I would say, and I'm no attorney, I do have higher than the 8th grade education, as some commissioners say, but I'm no attorney, but I can see where the impervious surface, as we all like to use in buzzwords, water's been diverted. I mean, that's pretty easy to see. And then to know that that was a hill that naturally fed that pond that's there,
I get what you're saying.
a layperson.
That would be between two property owners, two property owners, not the county.
Well, and respectfully, in this case, I think we are a property owner, because that's our road and that's our project. And unfortunately, we've got a land owner who's been impeded upon by some ignorance of either engineers or construction workers, and now we have problems. So I think the right way to do it is just like the mayor said. I guess I'll make an amendment to the motion that's on the floor with the second, is to just defer this for 1 month, bring it to the knowledge of the school board that, hey, we need to resolve the water flow issue so the man has water to fix his ponds and water his livestock. And then once that's completed, 6 months, 2 years from now, bring it back to this committee. That'd be my motion.
The school board knows about it, so, at least give them the opportunity
Make
again.
two tries.
Right, and with their study session,
Are you seconding his amendment?
I'm talking.
Before we do anything else, as a motion?
What was your motion all the way again?
For them to make sure that they have a plan in place,
But we can't make sure that they
and
do
it just
that.
sits here. We don't approve the road.
His motion is basically to defer it a month,
Yeah. And let
to
them
give
come back.
them time.
Can I just second everybody's motion?
You can if you choose, or you second.
I'll second that, yeah,
Okay,
for
we have
sure.
a motion, a second, to amend the original motion to defer. Is there any discussion on the deferral? If this motion passes, the original motion will we'll vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, the original motion is amended, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So this one is deferred for 1 month to give the superintendent and the school board, if they so choose, or hopefully the school superintendent time to come up with a plan.
And then maybe those guys could come back and maybe shed some light. You asked them about it. Yeah, since there's a study session and stuff tomorrow.
So, next item of business is the 2026 road list.
So,
Motion is second.
Okay, question is, was Wolfpack Way,
It's not on there.
it is not on there?
It's
Okay,
not
that's
on
what I want to make sure. We have a motion second to adopt it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next line item was adding 30-mile-an-hour speed limit signs to Carter Ridge Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
You want to talk about that?
This is a road that didn't have a speed limit, so we're not changing the speed limit. We're just adding speed limit signs to the road because it's just, they need a guideline to go by because people are speeding so bad on the roadway. If they are writing tickets, they need to understand that.
Any discussion to the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor,
Who was
the mayor. Me.
Report of the county mayor.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Any other business come before the meeting? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.